right now. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 11:58 a.m.
So I want you to see this impossible light activity that's on my ceiling, first of all. Alexa is reciting the current time. I'm showing what I'm doing on the internet because this is federal stalking in violation of Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2. And this is also the evidence of what is federal group stalking and monitoring. Federal stalking on the venue of the internet is an integral aspect of what is state surveillance. The entity is keeping you under surveillance in relevant position, group stalking you, and the entity is flying over me by helicopter at 11:55 in the morning, the same time that Vaughn's, a third-party group stalker, who was going to be on the grounds, group stalking in the path, engaging in terrorism. This is terrorizing me while you're coming to my apartment. That's the state that's coming to your apartment, threatening your life, stalking you in a helicopter, and then acting in concert with that entity that is coming to the private space to engage in what is relevant positioning and activity creation, maliciously doing so while you're surrounded by the specific environment and the light sources outside of my living room window. All right, and this is the same bedroom where you see in the afternoon after 4 p.m. this same engineer light that's on my ceiling and the light sources outside of this window. And the sun would never be present over one address for the duration of the day. I'm capturing 10:30 in the morning and the sunset after 7 o'clock. Again, that's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is not any iteration of the natural environment. I want you to see this pattern of the blinds that's appearing here, and you're looking at the concentrated light that you see here. The entity is flying over by helicopter, and they're also engaging in this because the demons are hostile while I'm uploading the screen recording with the timestamp 2024-05-27, 10:53 in the morning. This is what the entity is monitoring while it is, let me do this simultaneously. While the entity is group stalking. So let me show you that. LAPD flying over, I'm capturing at 11:57. I'm getting a text message on my phone. This is relevant to what is operation of your communication device. Vaughn's is a third-party group stalker. The entity is repeatedly flying over in helicopter, okay? I'm doing what is at the same time uploading evidence, uploading my documentation while the entity is sounding helicopter activity, and this light activity is on my ceiling. So I want to be clear, a third-party group stalker is engaging in the elements of monitoring while operating a communication device that is sending me a text message, which is the same exact entity in the specific environment. The entity is group stalking, monitoring you on the venue online, as well via communication devices on the internet. That's Title 18. And while I'm capturing that, I want you to see in real time this light activity that appears. Again, as I started capturing this video, this light activity was not here. That's speaking to the same light activity that you saw yesterday on the outside of my front door. You're looking at the lighter hue of engineer light, and as I point out the fact that it's equally impossible, what did you see? That concentrated light appeared in real time and disappeared. This is the engineer light that's on my ceiling and in a different level of concentration after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That is the pattern of conduct. Vaughn's is a third-party group stalker. That is Albertsons. I'm going to federally prosecute them for an ongoing acts of surveillance. They're engaged in relevant positioning right now while this light activity is on my ceiling. They're listening to every word that I'm stating. They are in relevant position while LAPD sounds helicopter activity. Knocking on my door is audible activity creation, and they're doing so while the entity is maintaining presence. So I want to make sure I document that. This is Vaughn's right here with the Prius. That's license plate. They're going to federal prison. License 8RPD 319. This is audible activity, relevant positioning while the entity has engineer light. This is a threat to your life. Okay, this is not delivery of groceries. This is federal group stalking and monitoring and federal stalking. And the entity is flying over by helicopter while the people of the state come to your door after you're ordering groceries in the same exact specific environment. Okay, that's P.O.C. This is light activity, relevant positioning, and Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2 is underway. Again, this is Vaughn's that's also engaged in federal stalking using my phone while the entity is flying over by helicopter. Okay, this is P.O.C. He's got engineer light that's on his t-shirt, by the way, also. This is, again, let me get the license plate of this Prius. And this is a demon. I want to let you know this is a demon, and Vaughn's is going to be prosecuted. 8RPD 319. P.O.C. Okay, so this is the light activity that's on my ceiling while a third party comes to your front door and is monitoring. Okay, that's the same exact specific environment. And I want to show you what's the operation of my communication device. He's monitoring while he's sending this text message confirming his delivery of that of the food that while he's monitoring me, acting in concert with LAPD that's flying over by helicopter. Understand how the elements of monitoring are satisfied while Vaughn's come and engage in the elements of monitoring. It's 12:02 p.m. The light source is directly over my apartment. And doing so while monitoring on the venue of the internet. This is what's underway. And Vaughn's is a third party engaged in federal stalking, also monitoring evidence. They're acting in concert with, again, the same entity that flew over at 11:57. It's 12:02 p.m. Not a coincidence that Vaughn's is arriving to engage in what are the guise under which the groceries are being delivered. They're engaging in the elements of monitoring, just like any other demons, such as Sean Zhong, who you see pacing in relevant position in front of my apartment, while the light source is directly over my apartment at 11 in the morning. That's exactly Vaughn's is doing the same thing under the guise as, oh, well, I'm here because the target individual ordered groceries from me. Oh, I'm here because the target individual ordered a package and I'm delivering it. Or I'm here because the target individual's neighbor is getting a package delivered. It's the same exact criminal system. And let me show you the light source that's over me, which is what controls, not your operation of a business, which is the malicious guise under which that criminal system is being aided, right? Being facilitated. This is P.O.C. Vaughn's is a documented group stalker engaging in terrorism while the entity flies over my apartment by helicopter, as I'm documenting at 11:57 in the morning, while I'm uploading evidence onto the venue of the internet, coinciding with that timeline, and engaging in what is activity on my communication device, sending text messages while the entity is repeatedly sounding helicopter activity. So I want to make sure that all of those facts are understood. This is what I'm subject to. I'm pointing out what the entity is doing, and Vaughn's, again, is a third-party group stalker, and they are engaged in monitoring on the venue of the internet. And this is what the entity is. Again, this is nothing other than the malicious guise whereby the entity is engaged in that same criminal system. Vaughn's, again, in relevant position, specifically the third party that is in relevant position on what is off of Glendale Boulevard, I believe. And their address, I want to be clear, the address of this third-party facilitating venue, 1342 North Alvarado Street, Los Angeles, is the third-party facilitating venue. Light source directly over my head at that venue when I drive to that venue. It's not the natural environment, especially while the sun is rising and setting in alignment to my bedroom, and also while the sun, because I guarantee that the state would like to contend, but it cannot. That's why you document a malicious government, corrupt government that's surveilling you in a demonic method, all right? The sun is not going to be over Vaughn's at any time of day while it's rising and setting in alignment to my apartment that's distinct from the venue of 1342 North Alvarado Street, a facilitating venue where state surveillance is underway. The entity moves the light source where I move. Okay, the entity is in the specific environment while the sun, again, that's the light source, not the sun. But again, you're going to use that evidence because the documentation of a light source that's supposed to be the sun over me at the Rancho Cucamonga courthouse is providing the exclusion that the sun's going to be over 1342 North Alvarado Street, which is Vaughn's, a third-party facilitating venue. But let me be clear, Vaughn's is the corporate headquarters is identified as Albertsons. I'm going to prosecute them for engaging in what is facilitation of terrorism. And the entity is doing so on the venue of the internet as well. So it's not only a relevant position, but it is, like I stated, when they're flying over my apartment and the video that I captured, the entity is repeatedly sounding helicopter activity. This is called relevant positioning. The engineer light that's in the hallway, remember, you're seeing Jong Kim standing outside of my apartment. Her shadows are on both sides of her. You're delivering groceries and engineer light. You're delivering groceries while the light source is remaining directly over me. You're delivering groceries in concert with the entity that's stalking and monitoring by helicopter. It's the exact same criminal system. You're understanding how the people of the state utilizing companies, and this is the system of state surveillance. That is P.O.C. Again, Vaughn's is group stalking and relevant position. That's state surveillance. That's state terrorism. And it's also federal stalking in violation of Title 18. And the people of the state are monitoring in concert with Vaughn's. That's why you have engineer light on my ceiling. Okay, this is what controls. While a third party would like to contend, I don't even know the customer. All I was doing was delivering the groceries. This is why the specific environment is present. Because everybody that lives at Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison. They are monitoring and they're engaged in surveillance while the LAPD is flying over my apartment, flying circles over my apartment, and while engineer light is appearing on my ceiling. So is Silverview Townhomes. All 35 units are third-party group stalkers engaged in state surveillance. They're engaged in a perpetual sex offense while they're monitoring with the state and with the people of the state that arrive under the name of Vaughn's, which is the malicious guise under which the same exact criminal system is underway and is facilitated. Okay, and it includes the people of the state. All 59 units here are filled with third parties that are going to federal prison. And again, Kenneth Cummings and Chelsea Cummings physically moved from the property. They remain subject to what is a federal prosecution. And they're going to federal prison for the state surveillance that they were heavily documented engaging in concert with their minor children. And that remains relevant wherever they go. Like I said, the federal government will find them. It's not going to be a mystery. In addition to all the facts and surrounding evidence with regard to this case, it's not going to be a mystery. And there will be no remaining questions with regard to what the entity is doing on an ongoing basis. Again, it's 12:07 p.m. This is P.O.C.